Hi, I'm attachment specialist Adam Lane-Smith, and today I'm going to present the top 5 ways to boost your child's attachment. And I've got them written down because I don't have a perfect memory. Number 1, co-parent better. Now, this does not mean you are a bad parent. What this means is that your child gets 50% of their attachment efficacy from both of you. Both of you. I, over the years, as a licensed therapist, treated so many kids who had one wonderful parent and one bad parent, who was gone, who didn't bother spending time with the children, who, when they were with the kids, spent all their time on their phone. I worked with that again and again and again. And those were the really anxious kids that came into my office. You, as a good parent, can only do so much. There's only so much you can do. What you're going to need to do is make sure the other parent is doing their work too. Now, this can be tough if you have a bad relationship with that other parent, but it may require you to put that aside. It may require some very hard conversations with that other parent. It may require therapy between you and that other parent to work out problems, or intense mediation. Be aware that even if you're not speaking to the other partner, your kids are aware of that. Kids pick up way more than we think. They are way smarter than we imagine. So if you, as the good parent, are trying to overcome what the other parent is doing, it will not work. Now, what you can do is have conversations with the other parent about attachment. Have them watch my videos. Have them study attachment. Whatever it takes, have a conversation, a real one, about the dangers to your shared children. Because your kids are in danger. And most people, even a crappy person, tends to respond at least half-heartedly if their child's in danger. Really in danger. That may require you to put your pride aside. Maybe the other parent is really a jerk, but that jerk is affecting your kids' life, even if you think they're not, even if you tell them not to listen. In fact, that can make it worse. What you need to do is build that relationship with the other parent and work on co-parenting better, if possible. There are definitely some situations where that's not going to work, and I can already hear a lot of you writing in saying, Adam, that's absolutely unrealistic. That will never, ever happen. I'm here to tell you that it's very rarely the case that nothing can be done. It's mostly the case, typically, of finding the right leverage, of having the right third-party mediator come in. Whatever that might take, it's necessary to co-parent better. And that will help your children by not damaging their attachment as much right out of the gate. Number 2, spend more quality time together. Now, this is huge. When I had people come into my office, I'm retired as a therapist now, but when I'd have families come into my office, many times they spent very little quality time with their children. They'd spend plenty of time with the whole family, but one-on-one individual time with each child where they weren't lecturing the child, where they weren't rushing to do something, where they weren't working on a project, time to just sit and pay attention to that child and make that child feel loved, valuable, and approved of. That's huge. Now, on my website, I've got something called the 10-minute challenge. It overcomes a lot of that by focusing you to just spend 10 minutes a day with each individual child. 10 minutes a day. That is all it takes. When I worked with oppositional defiant disorder a lot, when I worked with angry kids who would punch their parents, punch their siblings, punch their grandparents, when I worked with kids who were stealing, kids who were suicidal, young kids especially, but sometimes even teens, spending just 10 minutes a day of focus time, not lecturing them, not saying, well, you shouldn't do that, not any of that, just asking them questions while playing a game, playing Go Fish, coloring, doing a puzzle, and asking them questions for 10 minutes, even setting a literal timer for exactly 10 minutes every day, consistently, got results. I've led parenting groups through this. I've led a lot of people through this program. And what I hear is, we started off with my 15-year-old teenage daughter who barely has anything to do with me, and she's always mad. And over the course of 30 days, 10 minutes a day, telling her what I was doing, telling her I wanted to fix the relationship, telling her I loved her, and then giving her a consistent 10 minutes a day, it took 2 weeks for her to believe it was going to happen and actually enjoy the time. And by the end of 30 days, our relationship was better. I hear that all the time with people that do this. 10 minutes a day of quality time. Focused on your kids. No screens. Talking, asking questions. It's the best way to go. I have that on my website. You can check it out. 10-minute challenge. Number 3, spend more quantity time. It's got to be both. It's got to be both and whenever possible. Now, in the past, I've worked 70 hours a week at multiple jobs just to make ends meet. And like me, you might be struggling with money at the end of the day. You might be challenged. I'm doing better, thank goodness, but maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're struggling, and quantity time is hard. What I had to do was designate one day every single week where all I do is spend time with my kids. I don't disengage from them. I don't sneak off to do my own stuff. I don't work. I'm not allowed to work on that day. I must spend time with my family. I have to. Now, in the Christian religion, that's required with the Sabbath. Jewish religion, a lot of the Abrahamic religions have this. Other religions encourage it. Even people who are not religious can do this. One standard day where you do nothing but focus on relationships. Only relationships. Kids need this so much because some of the biggest conversations happen when you're brushing your teeth, when you're eating cereal together, when you're wrestling and playing, when you're just sitting quietly doing different projects and they say, "Hey, Dad, can I ask you something?" And even if it's not something crucial, they are seeing you. They are experiencing you. They are soaking you in and learning to be like you, just the 1,000 little things that you do. And they're learning good behavior, hopefully, through watching you model it, through the way you treat the checkout person at the grocery store, to the way you talk to a waitress in a restaurant, to the way that you pick out clothes, to the way that you brush your teeth, to the way that you shave your beard, to the way that you get dressed and select your outfit for the day. They are watching you model those behaviors. They need quality time and quantity time. Now, that doesn't have to mean 24 hours a day every single day. That's helpful. But for me, one focused day per week. Now, also evenings when I'm not working. Also sometime on the weekends. But one focused day that is a consistent day that they know they will have. Kids love routine, and they love predictability, and they love knowing they are guaranteed your attention, and they love knowing that they are important enough that you set that time aside for them, both for quality time and quantity time. But you cannot parent with only quality time. You must build quantity time into your schedule. You have to. Which brings us to number 4. Make hard choices. Now, some of the most miserable, anxious, depressed, suicidal kids I had come into my office were in 3 different sports. And their siblings were in 2 or 3 different sports. And the family's meal together was a granola bar at 7 p.m. rushing between sports. And they thought that was great for the kids. And the kids came into my office and at 12, 13 years old would say, "I wish I was dead. There's no reason for my life. I don't know how to speak to my family. I'm not connected to them. I don't know anything. I just wish I was dead." And there's these kids in 3 different sports. Isn't that supposed to be good for them? Isn't that supposed to teach character? Isn't that great for their future? Doesn't it look wonderful on a college application? Not if they're dead. And the rates of suicide are decreasing. 11-year-olds are committing suicide now. Pediatricians are sounding the alarm, but the alarm is now broken because the suicide epidemic is so bad. And even if your child doesn't kill themselves, they might never build a relationship with you. So they might go away to that fancy college you want to send them to and never come back. Have grandkids without you, maybe never bother to visit you. Maybe you see them once a year for the rest of your life, for a weekend, 1 weekend a year. If you live another 40 or 50 years after they become adults, how would you like to only see them 40 times for the rest of your life? Is that worth 3 sports? Is that worth looking really good on a college application? You might need to make really hard choices. And those hard choices might also be about your career. You might have to do with less. If there's 2 parents who are both working, one of them might have to step down to part-time for more of that quantity time and quality time. Maybe you have to do with less fancy cars. Maybe you have to sell the cars you have and do with smaller ones. Maybe you have to do with less fancy things. Maybe you have to do with a smaller house. Maybe you need less so that your kids can have more. There's some hard choices you might need to make if you want your kids to have good attachment. the best attachment because it is on a scale. Everything you trade away time for trades away attachment for. So if your fancy house and all those sports and that college application is worth their future, I don't think it is. That's a hard choice you're going to have to make. And number 5, fix your own attachment. As a loving parent, there's a lot you can do to help boost attachment. But if you don't know what you're missing, you don't know what you need to do. You might have had terrible parents who beat you every day, and you know you don't want to beat your kids. So you don't. But what do you do instead? What do you add? What's missing? If you had bad parents or just parents who had no idea what they were doing and you grew up with bad attachment, there's pieces you're missing. Watching my videos might help. Watching other people's videos might help. Learning about it, studying it, getting parenting classes, those can help. But fix your own attachment because attachment is a self-healing system. When everybody in the family has good attachment, then you can communicate openly about things that are missing. You could say, something is missing and I'm just not happy and I don't know what it is. And the rest of the family, because they have good attachment, says, man, let's work on this together. Because if you're not happy, we all need to fix it together. Attachment, good attachment, is a self-healing system. That's what you're trying to build. You need to fix your attachment before you fix anything else. And then you can learn the parenting skills. In fact, your kids might help you learn them intuitively because good attachment leads to good parenting. I'll say that again. Good attachment leads to good parenting. So if you want your kids to have the very best attachment, fix your own attachment first. I'm Adam Smith, and that's the top 5 ways to boost your child's attachment. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps spread the message. Thank you. Until next time.